ready to go live. Let's run down the checklist. We have the virtual studio up. We've installed the virtual background. We've got scene 1, scene 2 standing by. Cameras 1, 2, 3, and 4 are green and ready to go. We'll go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, good evening and welcome to PJNet. Sorry we're off to a little bit of a late start. There seemed to be a problem in the internet somewhere out there between ourselves and Del Didway, who is standing by in our green room. Tonight is a very special night. Well, every Tuesday night is special. I say that all the time, but let me tell you why tonight is special. Del's article on his blog today was not about sports. It was about an encounter. And I don't want to tell his story. I'll tell it more with Steve Free. Now, Steve Free is actually in our chat room with us. Welcome, Steve. We're so glad to have you. We hope you come back again. I went to stevefree.com, and he does have a contact there. I was going to hit him up and say, hey, come visit us. So, Steve, look forward to an email from Coach Prasick, and let's hear more about your story. But for now, we will have Del Didway tell the story. So I've got to find somewhere. Where can I put Del? Jeannie, if you would, give us a place to put Del. And there we go. And you will see Del Didway right over there. That's how you spell it, folks. If you want to know more about Del Didway, don't try to spell it phonetically. Spell it like that. Go to deldidway.com. And there you will find his weekly blog. And here you will find him live in person all the way from Ohio. Del, welcome back. It's been I've been kind of following you on Twitter and Facebook. You've had a rocking week.
It's just getting ready to start too, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun month.
That was just the scrimmage, we've seen thus far.
Yeah.
We started a little late, so let me dismiss some of the pleasantries. And your blog this week, not about sports, but about a gentleman who has a talent that he's putting to good use. Steve Free is his name. How do you know Steve?
Steve is from Sauter County, where I live, and he's a local musician. So every time I pop down to a local coffee hangout at like Market Street Cafe, he's there oftentimes playing his music, and he's out and about. So that's just how I know Steve. It's just he's a local Sauter Countyan, so we all know each other.
Okay. So he saw you at the cafe. He approached you and said, "You look like a person that writes a blog, and I would like to tell my story." Is that how it happened?
No, actually, this has been kind of on the burner for a long time, and then my wife just kind of said, "Hey, if you ever need a good idea, you should probably talk to Steve about it." And then Steve reached out to me. It was just kind of a good timing thing.
Now, I actually just got in the saddle here in our PJNet studio from my day job, and didn't actually have time to listen to his music. I think we both have radio backgrounds, but in reading your blog, I'm trying to imagine what kind of music this is and whether or not I would like it. You try to describe it about 3 different ways. You want to take another stab at it?
Well, yeah, because I asked Steve how he describes his music, and he kind of told me the folks he worked with, his promotional folks, also describe it kind of different as well. So he said 1 week it'll be, or 1 year it'll be Americana folk or some other type of folk music, but he said it's been described numerous ways, even though he's never changed his style. So it's more of a storytelling genre, which people really love.
Well, let me say, as a sociologist, okay, and also in producing videos, let's talk about the importance of music in our culture. And I actually don't listen to the radio anymore. I overdosed on it. I used to work in radio. But anyway, my point being this. To this day, when PJNet produces any kind of video that we're going to use to promote something, I start with the musical score. Now, people have asked me, how do you do this? And it's not that I'm a professional. I've just kind of taught myself how to do it. You start with the musical score because it sets the tone, it sets the mood, it sets the rhythm, and all of the visuals need to get synced up with the rhythm in the music. And when you get it in software and you can see the oscilloscope spikes and where it's really fun. I enjoy it. I mean, I'd rather do that than eat when I'm hungry. That's not true. The other thing is that you've got to understand as a mode of communication. My first college class was modes of communication. And it never dawned on me that music, I mean, as an 18-year-old, I was into music. We rocked and rocked, okay, to some really great rock and roll, but I never understood the social impact of music until this course kind of shined the light on it. And think about Don McLean, American Pie. Think about all the songs from Simon and Garfunkel. I kind of get the idea that Steve Free's music is driven more by that folk storytelling mode of communication than it is about the technical merit of the chords and the harmony. Would that?
Oh yeah, I think that's a good, accurate way to portray his music. And he kind of laughs. He says he just knows four chords and he just writes songs and tells stories through his music. And a lot of them are about our area, about the Appalachia area, and he just really enjoys. He gave some great advice that he was given to do what you're good at and perfect that, and don't try to be something you're not, and don't try to beat people over the head with your message. He said, leave something between the lines for people to figure out. Leave your message and let people make their decision about it. And so he just tells wonderful stories.
I as I read the blog, I picked up on the, I don't know if I want to call it spiritual, but the undertones of what you just said, and as I reflect in my own life, and as I reflect on some of the advice I give others, including my daughter. People say, well, what should I be and then fill in the blank, and I say, first of all, why do you think you should? Did someone tell you that? Why should you pursue any professional endeavor based on someone else's goal for you? First of all, you won't have any fun. You probably won't be good at it. And I see so many parents vicariously living out their own unfulfilled dreams in their children, and I push back against that. And I tell parents, if your child doesn't go to the U.S. Naval Academy but becomes a musician or a teacher, can't you be proud of that? And honestly, the answer sometimes is, well, no. It's a defect.
Well, right, and I think again, going back to the blog was Steve's. His attitude has been the same throughout his career. I mean, he's had ups and downs, and he's very popular overseas. And anybody that gets nominated for a Grammy is obviously talented. So, but he stays around home. He stays around this area, and he travels. He was traveling today. Actually, I bumped into him today, and he was going to sing at a little coffee shop, or like a little bookstore coffee shop up in Huntington, West Virginia. So that's the kind of venues he enjoys.
Well, I kind of picked up and kind of saw from his picture what little bit I saw. I would say that he is like our age. Is that about kind of without?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I didn't ask him what year he graduated high school, but I'd say he's in our area probably. Yeah.
He served in Vietnam, I believe, in the Air Force. That era was really a profound era for the folk music, the likes of which I just mentioned, Steve McLean or Don McLean, and especially Simon and Garfunkel. Surely that living through that era and especially serving in the Air Force must have been a tremendous influence.
Yeah, I said that's where he was encouraged to learn music. So he taught himself how to play the guitar. So after he got out of service, and then his big I guess claim to fame had come about through a horrible incident here, just right down the road from where I live. The Lucasville riot, which was 11 days. Where I was working in the media then, so I was out there covering that. Obviously, national, international news. 48 Hours came here. Steve wrote the song "Siege of Lucasville," and he played it for them there. And they showed him singing the song, so that really helped his career boost up a little bit through tragedy, obviously. And so, That was a awful event here.
It seems like in talking to people who have been catapulted at some point, they there's a lot of starving artists out there, but something happens, and a lot of times it's not orchestrated. It's something that's almost
Right.
providential. In your case, you kind of just on a whim, you and your wife went to a writers conference in Orlando, and the doors just flew open for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now here's Steve, just happened to be at a place and at a time.
Mhm.
It's very encouraging, but at the same time, what about all of us? Are we going to just depend upon being picked up and thrown up into the air? Um, or is there something else spiritually going on that may be guiding these things?
I just think you have to be ready, ready for your time and ready for your moment. You have to keep, it's like any good athlete, you got to keep practicing and practicing for that one moment that you don't know when or where it's going to happen, but by golly, when it happens, you better be ready. So I think, he was obviously singing and doing his work, and then the incident happened, and then he didn't take advantage of it by any means, but he obviously was encouraged to or inspired to write a song about it, and that really, he jokes about it. He said that was his 50 minutes of fame. He's been living, for years on that. But I think Steve's kind of he's a very humble man, so he's more, he's very talented, but he won't let on to that. But he's got all these
Well,
words.
yeah, I would say more the spark that ignited the fire. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it doesn't have to be a flash in the pan. Sometimes we just need, that start, that jump start
Hmm.
to get ourselves. But I guess the spiritual take from your blog that I got was whatever you're doing, make sure that you're expressing yourself as you and not living out somebody else's dream, and make sure that you're centered in God's will.
Yeah, and do what Steve was given the advice is, don't, let people read more into it. Don't browbeat them and don't beat them over the head. Don't, shove your message down the throat. Give it to them, put it out there, let them decipher it. And that's
I
kind of what I try to do with some of my writings is get my opinion across, which is always right, but I try to do
Yeah.
it in a
Well,
in
it's right.
it is right.
You're often
So
wrong. You're never in doubt. But
so anyway,
well, in political activism, that we don't talk much politics on Tuesday night. But I will say this: in
no, I'd
some of
love
the
to. Though.
some of the coaching that I do, I observe people who are so passionate about their cause. First of all, they get tunnel vision, and they see that as the everything. The whole republic is resting on that, and if we don't win this battle, the republic is lost. That's a bad idea to talk like that, even if you believe it. It's not true, but more importantly, they do tend to pound it out, and I just tell people it's really hard for others to drink out of a fire hydrant.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been doing that the last couple of years. So,
So don't try to force yourself. And
no.
I'm in a situation personally. I won't share it, but one of the things that well, let me share it in a more hypothetical way. When certain events occur, let's say, and none of these have anything to do with what I just said. I'm not revealing anything personal here, but let's say there's some life-changing events that happen in your life. It could be something as dramatic as losing your job. It could be more subtle. It could be your dog dies. Okay. It could be the loss of a relationship. We have a tendency that there's a wound there, and we immediately want to put salve and bandage on that wound, and we get on the rebound. So if it's a relationship, we just rebound and grab the first relationship that we encounter and nurture it. If your dog dies, we go out and get a new dog. If you lose your job, you may take the first job offer that comes your way. Well, I'm not saying that any of those things are bad in and of themselves, but I would like to consider that perhaps we're getting out in front of God and we are directing our own life and not leaving much room for God to work some providential miracles, that if we just would have been patient and just would have just keep our radar up, and when you see smoke, run toward it, but be open to a wide range of things. My not my pastor, but my executive director at the Florida Baptist Association, when I was in disaster relief, well, things are urgent. Dale. Okay, and I would go running, and he would say, "You're running so fast, you might be out in front of God. Why don't you let God do some work?"
Yeah.
And I think that when you look at your blog this week and how you show that, Steve was, his career and how he's progressing in his music and in his ministry, I get the sense that he is at peace with himself because he is letting God work.
Steve's a very confident, humble man. So he loves what he does, and he thought a long time ago he thought of going another route, but he thought, this is what I enjoy doing, so I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna do it well, and I'm gonna be happy. And he's probably one of the happiest guys that I've met. Very content with his life, very satisfied. He loves the awards, but he says those are nice, but he still enjoys what he does. He said he'd rather play to 30 people than 3,000. So he just likes that intimate setting.
Yeah, I'm not in that industry, but my take on that would be those awards and rewards are parenthetical side effects of doing your craft well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just wherever you're playing.
Yeah, again, and to go back, to be nominated for a Grammy other than winning it, is the biggest honor you can get, I think, as far as the music industry goes. So he was nominated, and it's from our little town in our little county here in Sauter County, Ohio. So doing really well.
Well, maybe they'll put up a sign, where you say, city limits, home of.
Well, we
Dale Duduit and Steve Will for Steve Free.
Yeah. So.
I see when I travel, I see these signs, home of so and so. It's like, who's that?
I know. We have that here.
If it was somebody I knew, it might be more meaningful. But anyway, well, it was spiritually challenging and soothing, your blog, and I truly enjoyed it, and it was a departure from the sports world. Let's turn back. You said you had the title art for your new book, First Down Devotions.
Yeah, just got it the other day. I'm really excited about it. That'll be August 5th. It'll launch, and it looks really, really nice. I'm really happy with the way it looks. And
I hope there's no green. Let me show you. I just did a book thing. Well, I'll say more about that. But if there's a green cover on the book, a funny thing happens when you're using a green screen.
Well, I hope I didn't, because I can't see the set like I always do every week. I hope I didn't do anything wrong to it. So because I can't see your little station there. But no, it looks really nice, and I'm real excited about it. So they sent it to me a couple of days ago, and gave me the sign off on it, and I did. So we're excited about that August 5th launch.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say August 5th. So for those of us not in the writing modality like you are, you write a book, and then here it is, May, June, July, 3 months before the book is published, they're working on the cover.
Oh, they have it done. In fact, they just put out a Facebook promotion today about it to pre-order, and so yeah, they're all this. New Hope Publishers is on the ball. They with Dugout Devotions, they were promoting it 4 or 5 months out. So and that's awesome. And have a big event this weekend with that up in Pittsburgh. So we're looking forward to that. That's why I'm wearing my Pittsburgh Pirates shirt here.
Now,
so
you've been traveling this week, and I saw something Pittsburghy. Have you been in Pittsburgh this week?
No, that's where I'm heading this weekend. We have a book signing there with Clint Hurdle of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's the manager of the Pirates. He's going to be joining me on Saturday at the Barnes & Noble in Pittsburgh. So I'm going to be heading up there Friday. And been promoting a little bit, and I'm going to probably get with him Friday evening at the game, and just make sure he's kind of going to show up on the next day, and which he will. And for a couple hours, he's going to donate his time and come sit and sign books with me. So,
I tell you, I don't know what it is that. I don't know whether it's that you're drawn to people or people are drawn to you, but I just don't know how you do it.
It's a bug spray. And then I tell you what, and then after that, it really gets. But the biggest event's tomorrow. It's where our grandson's born at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
That's right, May Day.
Yeah. So they moved it up from 3 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So we'll be down at the hospital around noon or 1, and looking forward to that event. And then Pittsburgh this weekend.
Now, when you said your grandson's arriving, now you said hospital is like as in being born.
Yeah, he has a C-section tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, I said bring him on the set. No, don't.
No, I can't do that. Not yet.
Okay, I love him already, but Sophie, anytime.
Yes, anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah.
She is a darling.
Yeah. So, and then we'll be picking up steam heading to end of May and on the road a lot, but just through the month of May, and then once I get through that, it'll be time to slow down a little bit.
Please do. I
Yeah,
don't know
it's
how.
fun.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it, Dale.
It's fun.
Okay, well, Dale, I'm sorry we got a little late start today. I'm going to wrap up a little bit early. I've
Yeah.
got some announcements I want to share with the rest of the team. Thank you so much, and thank you, Steve Free, for joining us. And I hope that you will come back sometime. And Dale, we'll see you next Tuesday, and you'll have a lot to say by then, I'm sure.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, Dale. Oh, folks, you can't go wrong with Dale Didway. I'm humbled to have him as part of the PJNet team. I want to share with you, we are team building, and I want to share with you that tomorrow night we're going to have something special. It will be the first time that we have had. Freddie Davis is the author of some 13 books, and and he's actually I know him personally. And he is a PhD in science. Anyway, he is an interesting guy. He's not boring. Okay, he's really fun. We pre-recorded for tomorrow night to be released a show where he talks about his book, Rules for Christian Radicals. That is only one of 13 books. And we just had a little conversation. You know how we do here. We kind of digress and chase rabbits and all that. Very interesting guy. And he's actually, subsequent to that, sent me an email today wanting to perhaps get together with his collaborator. And I've pitched to him the idea of, Freddie, why don't you do a weekly program with us and kind of join the team? And he's thinking about it. Now, he is a very, very busy person. Speaking of busy persons, if you go to stevefree.com, look at his schedule. I was going to say, I wonder when we could do this. Boy, he's got something going on all the time. Okay. You have to make an appointment with him, I presume. But I am going to hit him up to see if he'll come join us live one time and just share a little bit more. And also, we'd like to find some of his music if we can and play for you. So make your plans, even though we normally don't have a regular guest on Wednesday. I hope you'll make your plans to be here Wednesday night. That will be May 1st for Freddie Davis. Now, also, I said during the opening prayer, in case you missed it, I want to emphasize two prayer requests that are known to me recently. One is I got a call a few hours ago from Chuck Nellis. Now, Chuck Nellis has his own show right here on PJNet on another channel. Normally, he would be doing a show tonight, right now actually, with his producer Dershie, but his producer Dershie is in the hospital with some diabetes-related infirmity. That's all I know. But Chuck called me and asked me to share that with you, that you would make that a matter of prayer. Now, they also have a show on another channel here at PJNet with he and his wife, but again, Dershie is the producer, so that show is also in jeopardy. So we're just going to play it by ear. But please be in prayer for, he's just known as Dershie. I know his real name, but he's just known as Dershie, who produces the Chuck Nellis 2 shows a week. And also, I just want to remind you that Sunbelt Girl is missed very much here. I do see her from time to time, but I haven't had much contact directly with her. But she has been up north with her brother in the hospital for weeks now. And my heart goes out to her, and she's so missed. But I can say this, however much we miss her, I am extremely confident that she is exactly in the center of God's will, doing His work right now. And we will stand by however long it takes until she returns. So until tomorrow night, we'll sign it off. Thank you for being a part of PJNet tonight. PJNet Live tonight with Dale Didway and his friend Steve Free. We'll see you tomorrow night.